Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and we are going to do a review today. And the knife we are going to be looking at, it is the Buck 744 Sovereign. So this is Buck's first attempt at a button lock knife. And I will say up front that actually I like it. They did a good job on it. So let's take a look at what this has to offer. So it has a blade length of 3.225 inches. Open it is 7.475 inches and closed 4.25 inches. The steel on this, it is a 7CR17 with a clip point blade. The weight on this, it is a weightier knife. It's 4.15 ounces. And the handle, it's a carbon fiber pattern on the steel, stainless steel, skeletonized liners. So it's just a pattern that's on there to give it a different, interesting look. And the pocket clip on this, it is a right hand tip up, deep carry. Mostly deep carry. You do have a little bit of the knife sticking up, but not a lot to worry about. And as I said, it is a button lock knife. Opening this, you can open this with the dual thumb stud, or you can do the button and flip it open as well. I just don't have a lot of room to be doing that kind of stuff here. So I like the button lock. I like what they've done with it, and we'll look more into that in just a few moments. It is centered. I don't know if you can see that. My light's probably not the best, so. But it is centered, and unfortunately, there is a slight bit of blade play up and down and side to side. So Buck, you might want to just take care of that, and not a big deal, but we'll see as time progresses whether that gets any looser or not. But it is something that you do notice. So size comparison. Let's take a look at some size comparisons. We have the Ontario Rat 2. So you can see it is slightly bigger than the Rat 2. And we have the Benchmade Bug Out. And they are basically the same size. I'll do a couple more knives here. We have the Civivi Cogent, which is also another nice button lock knife, and the Sencut Saxi, which is also another button lock knife. And you can see these do have a little bit of size on the Buck knife. All right, well, I was excited when I saw Buck had made a button lock knife. Sorry, just gonna clean the blade off. And I had first tried the Mini Sovereign. So if you want a smaller knife than this one, they do have the Mini Sovereign. And it might have been just the knife that I tried, but it was quite sticky. The button on it, it took a lot to push it down and get it to release. This one works way better, so I'm going to assume it was just that knife that I was looking at and not the Buck's attempt at a button lock, because this one works great. I haven't had any issues with this one so far. Sharpness, let's see. Let's do this first. So it has been used. I've carried this a little bit, and you can see it does cut paper quite well. It opens packages quite well. I've had no difficulty in that. I haven't tried the zip tie to see what it does. I don't like zip ties when they're on packages because they take a lot, but that didn't take hardly any effort at all. To do that, I might have cut this string a little short. We'll see how it does. But it cuts through that and quite easily, and through this paracord, we've got that. So buck does come fairly sharp out of the box, which is nice. And as I say, I've opened packages with it, and they open quite well. And I like this knife. I like the blade profile. It's a good looking profile. I like what they've done with the scales. Even though it's kind of a generic looking knife, it's still a good looking knife. And I like how they've done the button. They've given you some room back here, even though it could be just slightly more, so that you can get a little better access to the button. But it hasn't been a problem for closing, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm liking the way this looks. The ergonomics on it are very good. Feels good in the hand. You got a good grip on it, and yeah, it's the way they've kind of curved the knife. It gives you good ergonomics on this. I'm a fan of jimping, so I'd like to have the jimping up here. It just gives you a little more purchase. And there is a bit of a choil there, but that's a sharpening choil. It's not exactly a finger choil, although you could carefully put your finger there if you had to, but it's more of a sharpening choil. Blade is nice and sharp. Pivot on this, great. Out of the box, it was smooth, didn't have any issues with it. Really like that. And one thing that excites me, if you've seen any of my other videos, is they made the pocket clip and the screws flush. So yes, it's going to be less wear and tear on the pocket, which is nice. And it fits in the pocket really well. And as I said, the button lock, it works great. No issues so far with it. It works very smoothly. Couple of the things that I'm not super happy about, the handle is slippery, and you get that with aluminum and the solid steel handles. I know some of the knives have gone to putting patterns now into the scales, which is nice to give you that extra purchase. For day-to-day jobs, it's solid in the hand, but I would like to have a little more grip. And the pattern on there is slightly grippy, but not super much. So it's still a lot of slippery handle there. I'd like to see Buck work on the blade play, fixing that so that there's no blade play. That would be nice. And maybe using aluminum for the liners, because even skeletonized, this is a heavy knife. As I said, it's 4.15 ounces. So there's a bit of weight there. And so I'd like to see that a little bit different. Anybody that's familiar with CJRB or Civivi, the CJRB Pyrite is very similar to this. The Civivi Cubit is very similar to this. A very similar feel, and I like both of those knives a lot. So I've been enjoying carrying this knife, carried it quite a bit, and this is one that'll stay in my collection for a while. And yeah, I don't foresee it going anywhere quickly. The only thing is, as you can maybe see on camera, is that some of the finish is starting to come off in different places. Yeah, so they might want to work a little bit more on the finish as well, but that's going to happen over time anyway. As you use the knife, it's going to get broken, right? So not the end of the world, but have enjoyed using this knife. And these are, what are these, 50, oh gosh, I'll put a link in the description. Here in Canada, these are 54 or 56 bucks, something like that. Down in the States, of course, they're a little bit cheaper. But yeah, very nice knives. You can get this also with the silver stainless steel, and as I say, they do have the minis as well if you're looking for a smaller version of this knife. But I would highly recommend this as an everyday carry knife for anybody that wants a button lock knife, and especially if you're a Buck fan, you might want to check these out because they did a nice job on it. I'm very happy with how this knife performs and works. So yeah, check those out and see what you think of them. But yes, would highly recommend this as an everyday carry. It's stylish enough that you can carry it if you're out for dinner or whatnot with friends. It looks good, and but it's also tough enough that you can use it, you know, on the work site and cut open boxes or whatever it is you have to use your pocket knife for on the job site. And it'd be great for camping and stuff like that as well. So good all around everyday carry knife. And so Buck, with your first button lock, I would say you are successful. Just maybe work on that pivot a little bit to tighten it up so that it doesn't have the blade play. Other than that, I'd say they did a good job. And so check those out if you have opportunity. And thank you for taking time to watch. Appreciate everybody who watches. Feel free to hit the like, give me a comment. I'll get back to you. And also hit subscribe. And we'll do this all over again with another knife. But until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.